All right. Are you?
Welcome back to Cyber Digest. Back again with another live stream, and
Yes, sir.
things are heating up, man.
Hey, we're coming with some scorching hot news.
Nah, it's going down. It's essentially AI wars.
It's actually that. Before it was streaming wars, and now it's the new age AI wars.
It's crazy. Like we're always in an era of different type of wars. Like whether it's a war for oil, whether it's an oil, whether it's a war for
Data.
data, but now we are officially within the era of AI wars. I mean,
Yeah.
this is literally off of this is following the EU just announced that they invested like $200 billion in AI development.
Shucks.
The UAE,
Which is also huge news.
also announced that they invested in AI development within France, the Stargate project, and now Musk is looking to buy OpenAI.
And for a huge price. $97.5 billion.
That's money,
That's
bro.
like, I can't even imagine that amount of money. It's hard for my mind to fathom.
And that's crazy. I didn't see this coming. I mean, he's one of the co-founders essentially of
OpenAI.
Yeah, and now he wants back in. Like he wants control of OpenAI, man, which is it's insane.
Where do you think it's coming from? Because I mean, if he was on the board and then left, why do you think he's made the decision to hop back on board?
So he's come out and said it's more so that he believes that OpenAI should return to basically its open source safety focused entity. So it's been, I think, just a lot of just ideological reasons. The fact that the direction that OpenAI is taking, you know, they are essentially a non-profit, but they kind of veering into this very capitalistic and for-profit kind of business model. And so yeah, I think well, those are his main concerns.
Reasons, yeah.
But I mean, there could be certain other ulterior motives. I mean, what do you think?
I think he also wants to look at making OpenAI open source again. I mean,
Yeah.
it's probably also coming back off of the back of the news of DeepSeek, the Chinese product, which
Yeah.
broke the internet for about 2 weeks in the AI field. So I think he's also seeing, him being friends with Trump. They're always pro-American and anti-China.
Yeah.
And maybe him being on board previously with OpenAI is like, we have our own product that we created before the Chinese. The only thing is that it's not open source, and that might be to our detriment.
I don't know, man. I mean, okay, I get where he's coming from. You know, he's had a lot of qualms with Sam Altman, who's the current CEO of OpenAI, and he's voiced a lot of criticism towards Sam, specifically about the direction which OpenAI is heading in. I mean, they were a non-profit, and he's kind of criticized the fact that they are becoming this for-profit and prioritizing profit for Microsoft, who's also an investor in OpenAI. And so he's criticized that, and also criticized Sam Altman's motives. You know, Sam always said that he wouldn't take stock in OpenAI, but it seems like he's going to be, if not already has stock and is taken stock in OpenAI. And so there's a lot of these little tensions, but there's also kind of these larger tensions. You know, I mean, Musk, I don't know, man. As far as his character goes, I think there's a lot of ego involved.
All the time.
Yeah.
In everything that he does. I was actually about to say, like, was it officialized that Elon Musk actually sent an offer to OpenAI, or did he just tweet that he wants to buy OpenAI?
Yeah, no, they submitted a bid. Even their
submitted a bid.
lawyers confirmed it, yeah.
Shucks.
Crazy.
It's huge. And it's kind of crazy that, like, big players in the field
Yeah.
can see when there's another big player in the field that's ready to eat them alive. And they'll do anything to stand in the way of them becoming, the ultimate winner. And
Yeah.
I mean, Elon Musk already has his own AI company, XAI,
Yeah.
which we don't really hear much about, in the news.
Yeah.
Maybe he's been more focused on Twitter or Tesla or SpaceX or whatever the case is. But the fact that he's seeing OpenAI as one of the biggest players in the world or in the AI industry, it speaks magnitudes, and him wanting to buy it even more so.
Yeah, because I mean, when they founded in 2015, I mean, they came out. Musk came out and said, with the them just starting OpenAI is kind of for artificial developing AGI for the benefit of humanity.
That's actually, before we continue, let's break down what AGI is for the viewers.
Please do, sir.
All right, so if you guys don't know what AGI is, it stands for Artificial General Intelligence. And that's essentially the next step or the level up after artificial intelligence. It's essentially an intelligence that's able to think on its own and make decisions on its own without the input of human beings prompting it to do anything or create agents out of it, essentially. So it's kind of scary. It's the same concept that, you know, is explored in movies like I, Robot and all of these sci-fi fiction dystopian future movies.
Yeah.
That's essentially what AGI is, if I was to put it in simple terms, but it's not all bad.
Yeah. So their goal was basically to develop this, have this big AI project, AGI project that would benefit all of humanity.
Yes.
You know, that would also just essentially maybe take us out into space to Mars. And so, yeah, and then there was this sort of power struggle. I mean, even in 2018, it said OpenAI said that, you know, Musk essentially also wanted to merge OpenAI with Tesla.
Oh, shucks, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so because OpenAI has, I mean, it's in such an advanced phase of just, you know, where it's at as a company. I think Musk is still sour about that. I think back then he kind of envisioned Tesla or whether it's SpaceX kind of having this big
AI model.
yeah, and big presence within the AI landscape right now, which they don't.
Which I think would have actually been quite incredible conceptually thinking about it. It's like, imagine OpenAI's capabilities, everything that they've built within the AI sphere with Elon Musk's everything, essentially. Imagine those two coming together, Twitter, SpaceX, Tesla, with the integration of OpenAI. I think that would be quite incredible.
Yeah, I do think it would be incredible, but I'm just, you know, I've always been skeptical of just Musk as a character.
Human being,
I mean, you know, the way he bought Twitter and kind of within the last few years, especially within the elections, kind of used it as his, you know, as his platform to kind of really push the elections, sway the elections towards Trump. I mean, that's essentially what, you know, he invested hundreds of millions of US dollars into Trump's campaign.
Yeah.
And was campaigning for him on Twitter, and he's got such a huge following. I mean, if you start an X account, you follow Trump. Like, I mean, not Trump.
Elon Musk automatically, which is
crazy.
Crazy.
And so I think the way he's kind of used Twitter as his tool to kind of sway politics and get in the way of a lot of things. I mean, we're seeing it right now with South African politics. I mean, how he
swayed the Americans.
Yeah, their perspective and kind of pushing this propaganda of anti-whiteness. And so, you know, part of my skepticism is looking at is this another move to kind of have this big AI corporation kind of backing his every political move, his power moves that he essentially wants to impose on the Western world. And that's why I'm always going to be skeptical of the moves that Musk you know, plays. And yeah, dude, I don't know what to think of it.
Elon Musk, as much as we can hate, maybe let's not say hate, but rather dislike him and his approach.
Yeah.
I think it is quite genius.
Yeah.
When we look at it, like I mentioned just now, being able to integrate, if he was able to successfully buy OpenAI, integrating that with his physical products that he's already successfully launched out to the public would be absolutely insane. I can only imagine what that would, you know, come out as. But I think we can move on to discussing Altman's reaction to Elon Musk, which I don't think was too positive. Altman obviously dismissed his proposal for those 97 billions. One, obviously, Altman knows and understands the potential that OpenAI has.
Yeah.
And probably also knows what Elon Musk's intentions would be had he been able to successfully acquire the platform. But yeah, I think it could complicate OpenAI's plans to transition into a non-profit company quite a lot, or for-profit rather.
Oh yeah, and that response was actually quite hilarious. He said, "No, but we can buy Twitter for $9 billion US," which was also kind of playing at the fact that Twitter's value has immensely. I mean, when he took over Twitter, they took over Twitter for what, 44? Was it 44?
I think it was about 44 billion. Roughly,
and now
approximately. Now it's at like 9 or something.
Yeah, around between 12 and 9, and which just so it's kind of poking fun at the fact that Twitter's actually lost so much, like more than 70% of its value, which is crazy.
Which is insane because Twitter, I believe, is still such a valuable company.
It is,
and it has so much potential to become even bigger. And I personally thought Elon Musk was going to take it there. Like I said, we can all hate who Elon Musk is, but if I thought he would be intelligent enough
Yeah.
to be able to use that platform and escalate it, because Twitter is essentially in the 21st century our news platform. It's
Yeah.
the go-to for when anything happens. If
That is true.
Instagram crashes, we go to Twitter. If we want to know the latest updates in anything,
That is
we
true.
go to Twitter. So I don't know if he's using it for the benefit of the people or for his own objectives.
His own objectives. I still feel, dude, like it's actually crazy. Like just watching the elections and how everything unfolded, I'd be so skeptical if he had to. Like, listen, he's a very ambitious person, granted, and I think he's very, he's very focused on just the advancement of just technology in general. But just having a character like that, just having so much power. I mean, he's got a social media, one of the biggest social media platforms in the world, and then next thing he takes over the biggest AI company in the world. It's quite skeptical, man.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, a lot of these things happen when there's, I don't want to call it a power shift, but maybe a power trip. And that's the kind of power that Elon Musk has right now. He knows how intelligent he is. He knows what he's capable of building.
That is true.
I mean, even Altman essentially characterized Elon Musk's action as an attempt to slow OpenAI down because they can see how fast OpenAI is developing. And essentially, there's a lot of insecurity in Elon Musk that's kind of showing right now in his actions. And it's quite concerning. I really do think it is concerning because when we look back at this in a couple of years from now, let's say a few decades from now, maybe Elon Musk has passed away and we look back at the great work that he has done.
Yeah.
A lot of it, we would have been able to say that there was a lot more that he could have done to impact the human race positively, as opposed to just fueling his own agenda.
Yeah.
And we definitely did see that quite a lot this past week with, the whole South African and US, all of those news happening, the false news going out that obviously the right-wing parties in the US believe. Elon Musk is definitely going to do a lot more now that he's part of DOGE, which is the Department of, what is it?
DOGE.
Yeah.
The Department of Government Efficiency.
Yes.
You see, this is also what I have a problem with. I don't believe that there should be government officials or public officials who have such a large conflict of interest. I mean, we have he's essentially part of government, but he has ownership of Twitter and now ownership potentially could be trying to get ownership into OpenAI. I think that is too dangerous when you have such an overlap with government and these big corporations. I mean, you're talking about, where...
I agree, yes, but the president of the United States is Donald Trump.
Again, I've always had concerns with regards to this. I mean, even in our own country. I mean, Cyril is this billionaire, and because there is conflict of interest, and at the end of the day,
his hands in so many parts.
Yeah, and it would be hard for you not to serve your own interests.
Of course.
And so, this is also off the back of, Trump announcing the Stargate project, in which, various companies would be coming together, including OpenAI, NVIDIA. If I'm not sure, I think also Microsoft kind of investing in this government-backed project, Stargate, where they're going to be investing like $500 billion into just AI development over the course of 4 or 5 years.
Just break down Stargate. I'm not too well informed on what Stargate is. Maybe our audience might want to know as well.
So Stargate is a project within the US in which they're going to basically, it's focused on AI development, and they are looking to build about 40 data centers across the US.
Okay.
Yeah, and so this project is going to be funded by various investors and backed by various investors such as NVIDIA, who is basically the number one company when it comes to AI development as far as hardware goes.
And chip making.
Chip making, yeah. So if you're in AI development, you kind of need, their processors and their chips and their data centers, et cetera, et cetera. And so you've got Microsoft, you've got NVIDIA involved, you've got OpenAI. And so all of these companies are coming together to kind of push the Stargate project, which has been backed by Trump, in which Trump...
I didn't think that Trump would have backed that, actually.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, he's fully behind it. They said the government isn't going to be involved in the funding, but more so overseeing things like that this project has sufficient power and electricity to kind of support this large-scale project. And Musk actually came out and criticized the project. So I'm trying to see. So
okay.
me thinks in my very, conspiracy-driven brain that, does he kind of want to be... Because I think he sees that if this... once this project begins, it's kind of launching who's going to be at the full forefront, or who's going to be the powerhouse or the dominating power of AI. Who's going to have a say in AI for the next decade?
Yes.
I think because I mean, US has such a big control in just modern AI right now. I mean, we can talk about DeepSeek all we want, but every other country is behind because they don't have NVIDIA. They don't have the amount of data that the US has been collecting through these various organizations. And so I think Musk is concerned that if he's not a part of this, essentially
he's going to be left out and far behind.
Yeah, and we're talking about a technology that is involved that is going to be heavily involved in every other piece of technology that is existing today. And I think
that includes Tesla and SpaceX.
That includes them. So I think he's saying, like, if he's not involved in this, he's kind of going to lose a grip on just his presence right now in the tech industry.
And just in your opinion, why do you think he didn't decide to just go all in on his AI company, XAI, instead of just going on and buying OpenAI?
I mean, they just started.
XAI.
Yeah, I'm not going to say they just started now, but they definitely not as far along as.
Oh yeah, they're actually behind. They only started in 2023.
Yeah, so they're not as far along as
OpenAI.
Yeah, they don't have the resources, the data, the infrastructure, the hardware, all of that, the manpower that OpenAI has, and so. You know, I mean, you're late. It really is about, you know, who gets the earliest worm. So, early bird gets the earliest worm.
The early bird getting the worm. Yeah.
So, I think he's realizing that, you know, he's not part of this, and this could essentially dictate where technology goes within the next decade. And this could be this could be his plan to kind of just get involved in this and dictate where technology moves within the next 4 or 5 years or decade. I mean, geez, man, I mean, who knows what this project is going to be? Because the project is also, so the messaging around the project is, you know, this project is going to kind of aim also to just cure diseases like cancer, heart disease, whatever,
yeah,
you know,
I think it's a huge project, and it's being backed by such huge conglomerates as well. And I think even more companies are going to eventually hop on board.
And we're seeing so many state-funded projects with regards to AI. I mean, we're seeing it, the EU is they invested $200 billion in AI development, and we saw the UAE, investing that in France. So it really is a battle of who gets to dictate technology for the next decade or possibly century, man.
Yeah, no, I think this is a huge story.
It is. It's crazy.
It's insane, the details that we could go into, especially with, like you were mentioning, the conflict of interest that Elon Musk has being or spearheading DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. I still do believe that Elon Musk is going to do everything in his power to acquire OpenAI, because it's probably an even bigger move or play than Twitter was, and he managed to buy Twitter.
Yeah, and it does also just complicate things from there, because they essentially would have to transition from a non-profit into a for-profit.
Yes,
and just all of the legal implications and concerns, it would do a lot of, it would slow them down heavily, OpenAI, in terms of what they also just trying to achieve right now. And so there's a lot of kind of nitty-gritties that they'd have to get past right now.
So currently OpenAI is a non-profit company, yes?
Yeah.
And then does Sam Altman have intentions of transitioning it into a for-profit, or is that Elon Musk's intention?
I mean, I think the company is looking to transition into that, yeah. But I think it was more of maybe a mid to long-term plan. Yeah. And so it would require them to transition, I think, immediately. If I'm not, I'm not too clued up on kind of the legal procedures, but, I think it would complicate a lot of things, them converting from non-profit to for-profit.
I agree, but like you're saying, eventually it was going to happen. I think eventually it was going to happen, especially with the increase in demand for AI and AI services.
Yeah.
OpenAI was eventually going to become a for-profit company, which, like you're saying, would definitely complicate quite a lot of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is quite an interesting story, guys. In closing, do you have any remarks on how you believe this process? Do you think Elon Musk is actually eventually going to purchase OpenAI or not?
I don't know, man. I think if the board has faith in Altman and his direction, I don't see it happening. But who knows? I mean, it's $100 billion.
It's $100 billion, yes. I also believe that Elon Musk has a lot of power.
It does.
Donald Trump has a lot of power. I don't know how linked up with OpenAI and Sam Altman he is.
Yeah.
But I kind of see it happening. I see it happening. Unfortunately, it's not something that I would be very happy about, but I think I see it happening.
I'm not sure, simply because I think Musk's relationship with a lot of people from OpenAI might be a bit tainted,
True.
and I think that might have some influence. But
think
I mean,
even if it's not a thing of him being friends with them, but more so that he can. There's a lot of like blackmailing that could potentially happen.
Okay.
With him blackmailing the board. This is me just looking at it maybe from a more pessimistic point of view.
yeah.
But I think there's a lot of influence that he could play in eventually turning their decision over into it becoming his own company.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. Let us know what you guys think. I mean, this is the wars of this is essentially AI wars, and
The new age wars.
yeah, So let us know what you guys think in the comment section, and please don't forget to subscribe, like, and tune in next time. We have an episode dropping on Thursday.
Yes,
So
sir.
where we're gonna be covering a lot of various topics that happen throughout the week. So yeah, guys.
Stay tuned, stay informed, stay educated. We'll see you on the next live stream coming on Friday. See you guys.
Peace out. Woo.